Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Capital Compass, preparing for capital through readiness. My name is Tosh Brooks, and I'm the program coordinator for U.S. Small and Medium-Sized Business Entrepreneurial Programs at the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center. For those of you who may not know, the NASDAQ Center is a nonprofit improving access and knowledge in entrepreneurship to advance economic progress for all. As you'll see in the chat in just a moment, the NASDAQ Center provides programs, resources, and exceptional mentorship to help entrepreneurs fuel prosperity, no matter where they are in their journey begins. Be sure to check out the links and resources shared in the chat. I'm going to launch a few polls to step back and take a temperature gauge on how all of you are doing today. We will use this information to guide the programs we provide for this global community of entrepreneurs. If there are specific topics or challenges you'd like us to create resources for, feel free to share them in the chat. Just a couple of quick housekeeping notes before we get started. First, let us know where you're dialing in from by dropping it in the chat. We'd love to see where everyone's joining us from during our time today. Second, we'll have a live Q&A at the end of the event, so feel free to submit your questions at any time using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. We'll do our best to get as many as we can. While you're answering, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the incredible support of our corporate partners. The work we do at the center wouldn't be possible without the generosity and belief of our partners and funders, including NASDAQ, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, KPMG, Walmart, the Asia Innovation Hub, Wilson Sonsini, the Nareet Foundation, KKR, and BPM. We're deeply grateful for their partnership, and we hope you'll join us in sharing that appreciation. Now, let's take a look at our polls. So we had our first poll today, which was, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about your business? And we had 88% of our attendants today are feeling optimistic, and we do have some participants who are just surviving. All right. And then our next question, what's keeping you up at night? Was it finance, sales, marketing, scaling, pivoting, your team, or surviving? And it looks like we had 58% of participants are focused on finance and it's keeping them up at night. So thank you for attending our Capital Compass class today. You are in the right place. Without further ado, I will introduce our facilitators today, Cami Taylor and Pinar Salik.
Thank you, Tash. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to this session. We are a fairly small group, and this is going to be a working session. Okay, get ready. Over the next 45 minutes, we are going to do something different than a typical webinar. We will not be talking at you on the landing. This is a session for you. We are here to help you experience what it feels like to move from capital curiosity to capital readiness using the Capital Compass Toolkit, which is our latest toolkit. If you didn't have a chance to download the toolkit, please feel free to do so, as I am getting us warm in the next few moments so that you can follow along. And then once we are done with the session, we will be highly encouraging you to take the time to go through the other exercises to prepare what's coming up next. All right. Before we get into any frameworks, I want to start somewhere different. I want to start with you. I have two questions for you. Please, let's use the chat. Let's bring all those ideas together. Why are you here today? And if you secured funding today, how would you define success for your business? Take a couple of minutes. Again, I'm repeating the questions. Why are you here today? And if you were to secure funding today, how would you define success for your business? Let's set the intentions for the session. We are going to be here for the next 45 minutes all together. Let's use this space and each other to bounce ideas back and forth, and then set the intentions for what's coming up next for your business. I know majority of you have been thinking about finance. We just saw finance is keeping you up at night. Out of everything you could be doing, you are investing time being here today with us. Why are you here? And if you secured funding today, how would you define success for your business? I will be able to leave the 9-5 and put all my efforts into my business growing faster. Wonderful intention. Wonderful. How would you define your success for your business if you were to secure funding today? I'm here to understand the most efficient funding paths for product development and would define success if we had enough to focus on product development for 6 months for the team. Wonderful. Great. Very clear. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I want to see more of these. This is going to be identifying what we are going to be working on, not only during this session, but what's going to happen after this session, right? There are no right answers. The reason I'm asking is that capital readiness work is hard to do well unless you are clear about what you are funding towards and what's your goal. Lenders want to know that, and you should know it too. So what a better opportunity than today at this moment to practice that. Okay, type one sentence into the chat, just one or two. We'll come back to your answer at the end of the session and set our intentions, right? Notice what's happening as you are thinking about this. You are naming the destination, where you would like to be, where you would like to go for your business. The rest of this session is all about building the path towards it. Capital readiness is not a personality trait. It's a set of artifacts, documents, narratives, forecasts that answer the questions lenders are quietly asking, and that move you toward the version of success you just described. You're just thinking, you're just describing. By the end of today's session, it's our promise to you that you will be having drafting 3 of those artifacts: your fit decision, your business impact statement, and your 2-minute story. You will have a mental model for how lenders evaluate you, your business, your application, and you will be having 30-60-day path forward, right? That's our promise. All right, let's get to it. Before we go anywhere, I want to give you a mental model that will be outlasting this webinar. Promise. Every lender, CDFI, bank, alternative, micro lender, they are all asking 3 questions when they look at your application, just 3. 1, is the business legitimate? 2, can it repay? 3, does the request make sense and reduce risk? Most founders, when they are preparing for their application, they prepare like every detail matters equally. They don't. They don't. Every artifact you produce should be in service of one of these 3 questions. If a document doesn't answer one of these, it just creates noise. It creates diversion. Today, we are going to talk through 4 exercises specifically from the Capital Compass Toolkit, and each one is mapped to one of these 3 questions. And by the end, you will see how the toolkit structure will be mirroring how lenders are actually evaluating your application. Right? Let's do a quick poll and then see where you are today with Capital. I want to know whether you are just exploring, just capital curiosity, you are preparing for an application within the next 6 months, or you are actively in conversation with lenders right now, or you are restarting. Maybe you were declined previously and you would like to reapply. Wow, this is amazing. Looks like majority of our attendees today are exploring and or preparing. Yes, perfect. So I want to see more increased engagement. Increased engagement. All right. So thank you so much for sharing. And whatever bucket you are in is perfectly fine. There are no wrong answers, but your bucket determines what progress will be looking like for you, for your business application over the next 90 days, which will be coming back next towards the end. Now I'm going to pass the mic to Kemi so that she can walk us through a couple of exercises that will be setting the tone for the rest of the session. Right, Kemi?
Thank you, Pinar. Hello, everyone. So lovely to see you here with us today to talk about your capital journey. And so, as if you're following along inside of the toolkit, we'll be beginning at page 13. Next slide, please. All right. Is your business legitimate? Is your business legitimate? So you're probably like, Cami, what do you mean? Like, I done all of the things. I have my articles of corporation, I have my EIN, I have a website, I have customers. Yes, yes, I have a legitimate business. And though all of those things matter, what we want to understand today is that when you are in the office of a lender or a CDFI expert or leader, and they're evaluating your business, the legitimacy of it, it's not just those tangible items of your EIN or your articles of corporation. What they're asking, what they're wanting to understand is, can you clearly explain what you are funding, why now, how capital moves your business forward? So if they were to fund you, how would that capital move your business forward? And then also, how will your business stay healthy while you're paying these funds back? So what we want to look at the next slide. Let's go to the next slide. While we're looking today, we want to think about our business impact statement, just 5 sentences. Please know today we are not building the perfect spreadsheet as I go through each of these. And so don't worry about having exact numbers. You can just put in placeholders. What we want to focus on is the story, learning how to tell the story behind our numbers. So let's take a look here at each of these 5 areas. Remember, when you are sitting across from a banker, a lender, they are trying to answer a few core questions within themselves. Can this entrepreneur use this capital strategically? Do they understand how this money moves through their businesses? Can they clearly communicate how repayment is going to happen? And so the first question that is coming up here is, what do you do? So I want us to use the chat, as Pinar has already shared. We are going to be interactive. So what would your response be if you were asked, what is it that you do? So put it in the chat. So let's see what we have. So what is it that you do? What do you do? What do you do? Who are you? Who do you serve? Tell us, and very briefly. I hear you all thinking and writing. But what would you do? What did someone say? What do you do? A couple of sentences. What do you do? What do you do? All right. Tell them somebody. Oh, here we go. Someone in the chat. There we go. All right, so we are an age tech social enterprise. We serve seniors above 55 and also enable the elderly ecosystem. Okay, what we do is ICT education, training, and business consulting, design drones for NASA. I own a consulting company. I do health tech design and consulting. We offer engaging programming. Okay. So you have outlined not just what you do, you've outlined who you serve, your quick 10-second, 15-second synopsis about your business. All right, next, what are you funding? Now, when you're thinking about what you're funding, I want you to think about specifically, what is the specific item, equipment, or activity that you are hoping to get funded? Be very specific with your answers. What are you going to use this money for? That's the question that the lender wants to know. Okay, well, what do you need this for? Let us know in the chat. What are we funding specifically? Scaling, global expansion, and tech. That's great, but I want to be more specific with that. What do you mean scaling? How are you going to scale? How are you going to reach global expansion? What type of technology? Okay, mobile services. Are you building showers, kitchen, and laundry access? That's interesting. Development of a plant. Okay, so you're building a plant. Hire more marketers and developers. Equipment, infrastructure, computer, marketing. Yes. Okay, here's let's go. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So my next question to you is, what business constraint is this going to solve? Why does this even matter? By us funding this, what will happen then? What's going to happen? What do you think about what you're currently experiencing in your business? And by you getting this money, what is going to happen as a result? What are you experiencing? Build software to scale, relaunching, improve human flourishing and impact. So I want you to think specifically about, by you getting this specific item, what is that going to improve in your business? What is it that is happening now that's preventing you from being able to do what you need to do? Removing this constraint of self-funding, allowing stopping cries to scale services consistently without financial strain. Okay. Capital injection for a few equipment and supporting staff, because what's happening right now? Keep them coming, and I hear you thinking, and I love it. Keep it I hear you, I hear the workshopping going on. Love it. Give me time, space, and cushion to be able to fulfill what I want to build. Okay. I want to hear increasing programming for disabled and senior persons. It will allow us to implement transportation program. Okay. I'm hearing some specifics. So you're saying that it's going to allow you to now implement a transportation program to get rural residents to specialist appointments. So right now, your rural residents that you're serving, they cannot get to the specialist appointments. It's too far from your home. So I need this funding in order for me to get this transportation going. Yes. Next, why does this, oh wait, I already did that, sorry. How is it going to affect cash? I'm not going to go into too much detail in this, but as you can think of this, once you get this in, how is it going to affect your revenue, costs, your cash flow? So now that I have this solved, what's going to happen as far as the money flowing in through my business? We're going to talk about this one in more detail, but just off the top, what would you say? By you getting these funds and you're solving this problem, how will this affect your cash flow, your revenue? Okay, growth is going to happen, more capital, you're going to get more employees, growth is going to happen exponentially quicker and greater profit margins. you'll be able to sell to enterprise clients and increase revenue. Okay. And lastly, do you know how you'll pay this back? Do you know where the funds are coming back so that you're going to be able to pay this loan back? What cash flow source is going to pay back this loan? It will improve your cash flow because we can't use the loan to pay the loan. We got to figure out where in our business, because we're already strapped, where in our business are we going to be able to tap into to pay back this loan? Client revenue from successful launch of our software. Okay, so we're going to launch this software with these funds. This revenue is going to go to our loan. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at an example. Next slide, please. Let's take a look at an example. I'm going to read it for us, and I want you to tell me, would you fund this individual? Would you fund this individual? All right, here we go. We are a community catering business serving corporate clients in downtown Phoenix. We are funding a $12,000 commercial mixer and walk-in cooler. Notice, they just told us what they're doing and who they serve and what they're looking to fund. I'll keep going. This solves the constraint that we are currently turn away 3 to 5 orders per week because our home kitchen capacity is capped. What was that? Did y'all see that? Well, we just tapped into the constraint that's currently happening within their business. Next. With this equipment, we forecast a 40% increase in monthly revenue based on our existing wait lists. Now I know how this affects their revenue, their costs and cash flow. All right. Repayment will come from contracted catering revenue we already have underwritten agreement with a margin cushion of $2,400 per month above our debt services. That's how they're paying back. Now, my question to you all, would you fund this individual? Let me know in the chat. What do you think about that? Their business impact statement. Yes, I would fund this. Tell me what stood out to you. What stood out to you? What made you say yes? Very specific, yes. And realistic. They have the who, what, and when specifics, yes to the increase, clarity in the approach, the repayment of the loan. Yes, see that? They were very specific about where they know how money moved through their business and were specifically able to point to a space within their funds where they would be able to fund this loan. Clear, concise, market cushion. So, as you're thinking about your own business impact statement, I want you to think about these different areas. I want you to think about how this example talked about these, how they answered that question and what made you say yes when you read it, thinking about it yourself as a lender. All right, next slide, please. So I want to dig a little bit more into, can it repay? So the thing about, and if you're following along, we're looking at page 15. So a lender does not want to hear, I hope I can pay this back when you sit across from them. They want to hear, I know how I can pay this back. I know what activity inside my business supports repayment. That is a very different posture because repayment must be connected to how your business is actually making money. This should be tied to something real and predictable. So maybe that is recurring clients, signed contracts, you have memberships, wholesale accounts, or seasonal demand. There's something that's currently in motion that you can count on, that you can tell a lender that this is something that is working for my business that I know will go into paying this loan back. So we're going to take a look at, next slide, these 7 steps to help us think through our cash flow, how we will, our ability, our capacity to repay a loan. Again, we do not need to have perfect numbers as we're going through this. We just want to be able to, again, back to our storytelling, back to, just placeholders for now. If you would like to put in the chat, you can, but please don't feel as if you have to. But I just more so want you to think through these and just maybe put it on a sheet of paper. So here are the things that we want to take a look at. We want to understand. What are your expected monthly sales? You need to understand, and a very conservative estimate of what your monthly sales are. We don't want your best month or your dream month. You want to think about a believable number, very conservatively, of what you count on each and every month for your sales. So go ahead and write that number down. Write that number down. What would you say would be your monthly sales? And you got it? Just put got it in the chat. Got it. All right. Variable cost. Variable cost. Now, when we think about this, I want you to think about the items that grow when your sales grow. So if I get more sales, then I need to purchase more inventory, more packaging. I need to bring on more subcontractors, whatever it is. If your sales double tomorrow, what else is going to expand or grow right alongside that growth? So think about that. What are your variable costs? So just jot down a quick list. Once you've got that, let us know you got it in the chat. What are your variable costs? All right. I love it. We know our numbers so quickly. Someone said $3,000. I got it. I know exactly. What are your variable costs? Got it. All right. Next one. What are your fixed monthly costs? So whew, these are the things that if you got a good month or a not so good month, it still has to be paid, like rent, insurance, subscriptions. Those subscriptions that just keep coming out like, oh, I forgot to have that license. Keeps coming out month over month. We'll have a great month or not so great month. What do those look like? So regardless of how your sales and go up or down, it is always going to be there. When you get that, just say, got it. When you have that one, say, got it in the chat. Got it. 1,500. Oof. Oof. All right. Y'all got that? All right. Feel as if y'all are still thinking. I'm gonna keep going. Next. Payroll, owner pay. I get to plug a grand toolkit in a moment. Now, payroll. That is your team and that is your pay. How many of y'all are paying yourselves? Let me know in the chat. Are you paying yourself? Are you paying yourself as an owner? Oftentimes founders are building, they're paying for their business, putting this money in, and you're not thinking about paying yourself. Listen, we did some research a few years ago here at the center where we learned that founders who pay themselves early, as you know, no matter what the dollar amount is, they are have a higher likely to grow their business, and they grow their business much more faster. They reach cash break even much more quickly. And so we have a fabulous toolkit called Your Pay Plan. So if you are not paying yourself today, this is a great toolkit to check out Your Pay Plan. You can get it on our website. Hopefully somebody will put it in the chat for us. But make sure you check that out. But yes, you need to pay yourself something. But you need to put that in there. That's step 4. How are you paying yourself? Your pay, your owner pay. Ooh, good for you. I was making 6 figures after the first year. Yes. Thank you, Jillian. Putting the link in the chat for us. All right. Next. What is your payment estimate? So I know you probably like, Cami, I have no idea. But remember, think about where this money is going to come from. So if you think about where this money is going to come from, how much do you think you would be able to afford to pay this loan back? Even if it's approximate, just do a quick placeholder. What feels comfortable to you? Just what feels right, like a right number for you. Just put that there. And when you got that, let us know by saying got it in the chat. Got it in the chat. All right. 6. What is left over? What's left over? After you have taking a look at everything, what do you think is left over? And I know y'all just been putting some placeholders, you've been making a list. If you have it, go ahead and put it. If not, you're like, Cammy, I don't know if I can right now. But um, where do you see pressure? Maybe, jot that down. Where do you see dips? What's happening in your low months? Maybe there's some things that you're wondering or questions that you still have. Like where's there pressure that you're feeling? Or where's a place that you need to kind of pay more attention to? Maybe put that down. You got that. Somebody said 0. Unknown at this time. We're gonna get there. And the last one is assumptions. So here's the thing. With all of the thing that we're talking about, there's some assumptions that we had to make here, right? So it could be that clients are going to be renewing on time every month, that contracts are going to close just as expected, that the seasonal demand is going to show up, our inventory is going to arrive on schedule. So what are the assumptions that you made that's going to must hold true for this forecast that you just created to hold? What must happen in order for this to hold? Let us know in the chat what works for you. What is it for you? The continual projection of sales will occur. No chargebacks. All right. All right, so programming continues to sell during product development. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Now, 3 inputs. So this is how we put all of this together. So we'll be able to identify what our loan payment would look like. So the net cash available, the monthly cushion equals a safe loan payment. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Pinar so she can move us through what's next.
Wonderful. I am seeing no drops. No drops. Great. Look, you have been wonderful so far. You have been working through this. I can feel the tired brains, but we'll keep going. Okay. We'll keep our promise to you. And then we'll answer the third underwriter question now. It's whether the request makes sense and reduce risk. Okay, this question is rarely answered by a document or an artifact. It's usually answered through a conversation, usually a 5 to 30-minute intake call where the lender forms a very first opinion or impressions about your application. So it's crucial for us to go in there prepared and have everything ready to precisely explain why we would be seeking that funding amount and how we are going to pay it back and what's going to enable us at the end. Okay, so Capital Compass calls this as 2-minute business story. We worked on the business statement with Cami. Now we look into exercise 17. It has 6 parts. Once you have it written down, you can compress it into 2-minute spoken conversation with the banker, with the lender, or expand it into your application narrative. It's the same content, only the delivery changes. Okay, let's take a look at those 6 parts. All right, so we thought about what we do. What's your business? What are you doing? Who are your customers? The second one is the problem. What problem your business is solving? What your customers are struggling with? The third one is going to be the proof. What is your documentable demand? What's your documentable demand? What the customers are asking and how you are able to address that demand through your services or products. What the funding enables. What's your plan? That's the 4th step. What's your plan? And how you will be repaying this loan. Your cash flow source, your cushion. You remember that statement? If you don't remember, I'm going to read it again once more for us to revisit and then see how that was structured for this particular 2-minute conversation with the lender. But let's take a look at this part 6, the close, the outcome for your business, for your community. This is the second place your opening answer show up today. You remember I asked, why are you here today? And what does success will look like if you were to secure funding for your business? The success you defined at the beginning of the session is your part 6 here, your close, your outcome for your business, for your community. It is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. The story arc, lenders respond to mirror the arc you live as a founder, how you define success for yourself, for your business. You have the vision of what success looks like, and you have evidence that you can get there, and the loan is going to be the bridge between the two. Part 6 closes the loop. You don't bury it. You make sure that lender knows this clearly, concisely. Lenders will remember the close. Okay, let's revisit that business statement and then see how we can actually turn it into a 2-minute conversation with the lender on the phone. Okay, we are a community catering business serving corporate clients in downtown Phoenix. Our customers currently struggling to find reliable, locally sourced catering for events of 25 to 100 people. And we have traction shown by 18 repeat corporate accounts and a 6-week wait list. See the documentation of the demand. With funding, we will be buying a commercial mixer and walk-in cooler that lets us accept the orders we currently turn away. We will be repaying through contracted catering revenue, and our forecast shows a 2,400 monthly cushion above debt service. The outcome will be steady year-round revenue for the business and 3 new local hires for the community. Notice what that story did. Do you think it's clear? Do you think this story is telling a clear narrative about the business, why the purpose is, why the founder is applying for this loan, and what that's going to be enabling at the end? Right? In about 90 seconds, it answered all 3 underwriter questions. Let's revisit. Like legitimacy, real customers, real waitlist with numbers, repayment, contracted revenue, specific cushion, everything identified, risk reduction, equipment that will be solving a constraint that the business is currently having and they have a demand for, and the close. 3 new local hires from the community. This connects to a vision of success that any community lender will be leaning towards positively, right? In the chat, just draft maybe 2 parts of your story. Let's think about it as we are bringing this session into a close. What we are doing, what you are doing, what your business is doing, and the proof. Don't worry about too much the others at the moment. Those will come from the work that you have been doing, you have been thinking through during this session. And then again, you can use the time right after this session to just give yourself the grace and then jot all the thoughts that you have been having down to revisit later on, okay, in preparation for your conversation. What are you doing? And the proof. Let's take 2 minutes. What we are doing as a business, who our customers are, and the proof. What's the documentable demand? I know you have it. You wrote it in the chat at the beginning, what the success will be looking like for your business if you were to secure funding. All right, write that down. 2 minutes. What are you doing? What's the proof for the demand for your products and services? Love, very specific numbers. Generated 1.5 million in revenue by end of year 1. Growth phase average 225K monthly. Delivered 68,000 hours of healthcare staffing with 98% attendance rate. I love the stats. I love the stats. Federal funding and contracts for development of drone, right? What's the proof for the demand? What's the proof for the demand? Be specific. I know maybe you are implying you got the contracts, but be specific. What's coming up in the pipeline? All right, right. So let's take a look at your readiness and self-assess for a second. Okay, looking at your readiness today and what we've discussed so far, which is your single biggest gap? Be honest. Be honest. I know when we asked about like what's left for you, what's take-home money, what's that amount, some of us don't know. That's perfectly fine. But the thing is, the journey starts with these unknowns, identifying these unknowns, the gaps, so that we can work towards fixing them and then building towards that documentation, those artifacts, the storyline, right? Are you missing documentation? Do you have all the bank statements, tax returns, bookkeeping organizations? Do you have all those in place? How about your cash flow clarity? Can you tell, do you have a model for your repayment story credibly? How about your credit? Do you have any personal or business credit issues that you need to be addressing in the next 90 days? How about compliance? I know sometimes like so many of them, licenses, permits, registrations, maybe some of them you are missing currently that will be enabling you to reach your customers or intended customers that you were not able to reach. How about traction evidence? Do you have documented proof for your demand, for your services, products? How about your lender narrative? How are you feeling right now? Maybe your story isn't sharp yet. Do you feel confident? What are your gaps? What are your gaps? All right, I see. Great engagement. So majority of us are having difficulty with the cash flow clarity. Okay, we can fix that. We can fix that. And then some credit, personal business credit issues, write them down. List all of them. What are your personal credit issues or business credit issues? Let's identify them. Those are also easier to fix because we know what was unknown, right? We know what's unknown and we can work towards, we can build a plan and we can work towards fixing them. Compliance issues. What are the licenses, permits you need? Write them down. Traction evidence. Yes. Proof for demand. We'll work towards fixing all of these. All right, let's talk about the plan. Let's talk about the plan. We promised 30, 60, 90. Whatever you just selected, that's where we will be starting. Okay, that's where your 30-day will be starting. The toolkit gives you the full 30, 60, 90 structure in section 11. And we will be also going into that detail in a second. Next slide, please. The principle is really simple. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is to become landable faster by addressing the highest impact gap first. We identify that. You identify what's your highest impact gap. In the next 30 days, finalize use of funds. Build version 1 for your cash flow and set up a data room that you will be collecting all of your artifacts. Address your top gap. That's our number one priority, your highest impact gap. Within the next 60 days, we will be improving our financial accuracy. Add traction evidence, complete all the compliance gaps that you might be having, and refine your lender narrative. That will be all shaping up within the next 60 days, right? As you are collecting all of these, working towards fixing what has been missing. And within next 90 days, our goal is to produce your loan-ready package. Run a mock lender conversation, apply or schedule an intake meeting. That's our goal. By the end of 90 days, we will be having that meeting, whether you are exploring the opportunity or looking for applying for the loan. All right. We will do it together. If you don't have anyone in your network that you can bounce these ideas back and forth, we have a mentoring platform. If you are not there already, find a near peer mentor that will be helpful for this conversation. You can run your narrative with them, and then you can also listen to their narrative, and you can provide feedback to each other, right? We are in it together. I want to bring us back to where we started. At the very beginning, I asked you how you would be defining success if you were to secure funding for your business today. And you type your answers in the chat. It has been such a fulfilling session. Thank you so much for working through. Some of those were, if we had enough funding to focus on product development for 6 months for the team, that would be my success for my business. Officially launching my brand with products to sell. Scale my business by expanding, hiring resources, and adding services. Great. Be specific, be more specific. The ability to immediately be prepared to bid on government contracts, win, and be ready to pay for the negotiated services. Be specific as you can get. Remember the examples. Funding acquisition business model. Love. Surpassing my 8-figure valuation of the previous company I own by surpassing the 7-figure payroll with someone else handling the accounting. Great. Starting your generational wealth for your family. Wonderful. Having enough to hire staff and marketing my products. The answer is not a side note. This is where everything begins, right? Your definition, your success. This is the success that you define for yourself, for your business. That answer is the entire reason any of this work matters. The business impact statement we drafted, its job is to make your definition of success visible to the lender. The cash flow forecast, its job is to show your definition of success is fundable. The 2-minute story, its job is to make a lender care about your definition of success in the first 90 seconds of the conversation, and you stay in their mind. You came in today with capital curiosity. Some of you are working towards securing that conversation, preparing for the application. You are leaving with 3 drafted artifacts, a working mental model, 30, 60, 90-day plan, and clarity of what you have been missing, what are your gaps, so that you can start planning and working towards those, right? It's a clear line between what you want for your business and what you need to do to get there. That's what we accomplished today. You invested time for yourself and for your business, just created this privileged time and shared it with us. We are so thankful for having you in here. I'm also very much thankful for my team to support this entire session. The right capital at the right time with the right preparation, it changes everything. It changes your business. It changes how you will be looking into creating your generational wealth. Just keep working through the toolkit, right? And whenever you have a question, please do reach out. We are here to support you whenever you need the most, right? I wish you all wonderful rest of your week and take care.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pinara. Thank you all for being here today. I'm so excited of what you are going to be accomplishing next. On behalf of the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center and everyone in attendance today, we sincerely thank you for joining us. We would also love for you to join us at our upcoming webinars. You can view them at upcoming events by using the link in the chat. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to welcoming you back online with us soon.